Things are about to get a little bit more interesting now that we are going to import some external libraries and a little helper class that I created to make dealing with Jasper reports and Studio a little bit easier. So here is where the magic happens about Jasper reports and creating your own PDF files. So I want to start off talking about a little bit of a recap of what we've done with client-facing and server-side code. So here we have the client side, we have the client's browser, and the browser does service calls, and these service calls have access to client-facing classes. So in the past example, we were able to insert a receipt because the insert receipt method was contained in a Java client-facing class, a service class that was called receipt.cf. And when I ran this code, it made instances of the sales DB to initiate the connection and to initiate the transaction. It used these client objects, these database POJOs, or plain old Java objects, and it ran all the code and it later produced a response. So what I want to show here is that uh, these classes are accessible um, and are able to execute code from the browser thanks to this client-facing classes, and this is all possible because they're wired up in the Spring framework. So it makes it very easy to convert them into services. And these classes aren't exposed. I mean, I can't access the client and run any methods, even though I can't say get client using a service call because it's not wired to be exposed to the client. So what we have to do now is create another client-facing class, and this one is to create reports. And we're gonna be putting two methods in here because I personally like to have both ways. One is that a report is just going to be downloaded just when you click on it and you download a file. That's the traditional way of seeing things. And the other method I like to use is to encode the binary data into base64. So base64 is a way to encode binary information into a string of characters, and these string of characters are understood by the browser. So we can display the PDF file in an HTML widget without having the user to download a file. So it's both of these methods are very useful. So we'll go through both of them, and these two methods will invoke a little um, class I prepared specifically for Studio that instances and works with these native Jasper external libraries. So these libraries, I got them from my installation of Jaspersoft Studio. So you guys might be able to pull them out from there. I'm gonna give you a list of jar files because these libraries are packed into jar files. That stands for Java archives. They're pretty much a zip file. So there's a special place where you can put these things in Studio to be able to import them and use them in Studio. So let's go and do this first. I'm gonna go and take a look at the jar files. I'll give you a list of the jars you'll need. You might need more or less depending if you are going to do barcodes or things like that. But this will give you a pretty good start. So let's go get those Java libraries. I did copy them out here in my desktop. So you can see these Jaspersoft Studio bundles and these digesters, these iText Jasper reports, version 6.1. I might want to update that to version 6.2 that it's out, but I don't think we'll have any problem with these. So I prepared a file here with these, with a list of the jars I need. So you can go ahead and go into your your Jaspersoft Studio and look for them here, because some of these files are under a specific license that won't permit me to upload them into my website and distribute them. So I guess you guys are stuck with having to look for these files out. Oops. So I will provide the list of these things. So now that I have all the libraries I need, all these Java archive files, I'm going to copy them over. I'm going to select all, copy. Now I'll move over to the root folder of my application. And that's what this lib folder is for. So you open your lib folder and you paste them in here. Great. So now we have all the libraries we need to create a report. Now we need some type of class that will make use of these things and create the report. And that's a custom class I did. If you guys have any observations and would like to make it better, I'm very open to this. So here I have it already in my in the proper packages. So you can see the package is com.dynamoware.utils, and I have way more utils that we need to take a look at. So I might I'll go over and remove these that we don't need. I'm just gonna stay with the report. So let's go to the Dynamo utils, and these objects are not going to be services. The services will make use of them. So that's why I have these things here and everything else. And the lib is specifically for jar files, and there's a special src folder in Studio that lets us copy code that when we export it or we run our project, it's going to compile it and put it into the source code along with everything else. So that location is this src folder. So you can see this readme.txt custom Java classes added to this folder. They'll be copied to the web for deployment. So it's the perfect spot to put my custom DynamoWare utils folder. And this is the class design. This is the class I need. So with that in place, we'll go ahead and go to NetBeans and make some small changes here. First, we have to add the libraries that we just copied onto our lib folder. So we'll go right click, add jar folder, and we're gonna go to app sales, lib, and I'll just select all and click open. So now all those files are linked in there. And I will also add, if I go here to properties, add folder, and I go to, not to services, but the source folder that is placed right here. I'll just it's not using an absolute path. Let me take a look. Oh, it's on the wrong folder. Yeah, app sales. Oops, sorry about that. App sales src folder. There we go. It's important that it's using a relative path, because you see it when I chose the wrong folder, it was giving me all the path, and right now it's just saying src folder from the root, so that's good. So this is going to be just my custom source code, and this receipt CF, I'm going to rename it to receipt client facing. Click OK. Perfect. Now we have the receipt CF here, and now we have our custom DynamoWare utils report. Now I'm going to get a little problem here because it's still thinking I'm going to use my other service for the database, and I have some of the code commented, so I'll just go ahead and uncomment everything here. Okay, I'll go through this code in a minute. Now I need to connect to sales DB. That's the name of my database service. My database class, the service is actually called sales DB with the lowercase s. Alright, I don't need this. Let's go ahead and fix the imports. Did it find sales DB? It should have found sales DB. Let's take a look. Okay, it's here now. Good. Alright, now this report BA, this is a little kind of unconventional, but I don't know a way to find the path of the resource for the folder. So what I did is just created an empty class, made an instance of it, and later found the path where I'm going to write the folder. So it's not the best way. If you guys have a better way to do this, it'd be good. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. All this has to point to is the place where you're going to store your reports. So this report BA file, let's go here to this place right here. So I want to store all my reports in com.appsales.reports, and then I want to be putting them in separate folders. So with this report BA, it gives me the path where this file is. So I need it to be relative to where it's installed. I'll explain it right now. Right now we're here, 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 here. Okay, so right now this is in C users, Jolly Roger, Wavemaker, projects, app sales, source com, app sales reports. When I deploy this into my cloud server, this path is going to change. So I can't really hard code this. So what I did, I just left an empty Java class. I mean, this is empty, and then I say print the path of this Java class. So what's in the server is going to go into maybe var lib Tomcat 7 web apps, webinf, and all that stuff, and it's going to give the path to this, and then to this I'm going to find the reports which I'm going to store in here. So that's why I left this class in here. If you guys have a better way to do it, I would love to hear about it, but this works for now. So let's go back to NetBeans. So it's complaining about it, probably because it's in the wrong package. So the package is supposed to be com.appsales.reports. So let's save that. Let's do an import. Alright, now everything is happy. So all I need is just to find the path. I do that by doing this report, get class, get resource, and this is going to get me the path I need. So it's not terribly important that you guys understand what this does. This has been put by me, so I'm not going to cover it. We're just going to cover how to use this class to create a report. So here's the source. You can look at it, modify it, and make it better. So I'll close this. This is an empty class. I'll close that. This is the receipt client facing, which we did in our past module, and I'll close that. So I'm going to look for the folder where I put this BA file in here. It's just for a reference, which is this one. And I'm going to store my receipt report that we did here. I'm going to store it into this folder. So I compiled it last time, So I can just navigate to this path here, and here are the two files. I'll need both the Jasper, and if I need to do any changes, I'll just get the JRXML. They're both exactly the same file, just one is just the compiled version of the other one. So I'll just cut this out of here and place it in the folder that has the report BA reference class in here. So I'll paste it here. Great. So now we're ready to create this report client facing class. So we already have the class that's going to make use of the Jasper libraries, and the Jasper libraries are where they're supposed to. So now we're going to focus the rest of our time to do the client facing part. So let's go ahead and do it right now. Let's go to Studio now, or Studio, okay, it's right here, and let's create our new client facing class. So let's go to Services, Java Service. I'm going to call this report client facing com dot app sales dot client facing, and this is the last one has to be capitalized because it's a class name. That looks good. So this is the service name. It's going to be written on the Spring XML file on the Spring mapping, and this is just the path where I want to store these things. Oops. So this can pretty much be anywhere you like, but that's how I like to write it. So let's click OK. Great. Now we have two client-facing classes, and I don't like to use this editor, so I'm just gonna go over to NetBeans. So we have receipt CF, and then my class is in here, and we're just gonna add it. We'll just go to Add Folder, go to Services, Receipt Report CF, and I have to select the source folder. So now it's selecting this. That's good. Now we're gonna do report CF. We'll click OK. Great. Now we're ready to create our two methods. One that's going to give me the download response, and the other one that is going to give me the base64. So let's clean this up a little bit. Okay. Great. All right, here we go. So I'll get rid of this method of sample Java operation. Now I'll make a public, and what it's going to return is going to be the download response. And I'm going to call this DOD report. Okay, and it's going to receive two parameters. One is going to be a string, and it's going to be the report name, and the other one is going to be an integer, and this one is going to be called ID report. Yep, I think that'll work. Now this download response, we're going to be doing it, we're going to be invoking it using a GET request. So I also have to name the parameters in the query string, and I can do that using an annotation. So I'll just do the annotation right here real quick. Param name, and the param name is going to be rep name. That is correct. Let's I gotta put name equals rep name. and then the type goes in there. Great. Now I'm going to do the same for the ID report. Okay. And for now, I'm going to put return null. And I want to fix the imports. So the download response and param name, excellent. So let's just do a format. Now this param name, we're gonna what this means is that by a GET request, I mean we're gonna go localhost 8094 my app services, and then in services we're gonna do report CF, and then we're gonna invoke the download, and then we're gonna use the method is going to be download report, and then I'm gonna do this ampersand symbol, and then I'm gonna be putting these param names. So it's gonna be rep name equals the path of the report, and then another ampersand, and then I'm gonna use this param name ID report, and then put equal the number. So this is what this means. These param names are the names that this object in the query string is going to go in here, and then this one is going to go in here. And then internally, they're going to be called rep name and ID report, and this one's going to be an integer, and this is going to be a string. So that's what this annotation is for, because we're going to do a GET request, and we're going to do it through the address bar. We're just going to open a new window for that. So with that done, we're going to do a new object called a new instance of a download response. We're going to call that ret, so it's for return, equals new download response. Okay, so it's just a blank new download response. And then we also add a configurable MIME file type map. So MIME type, if you've heard about that before, is pretty much like a file extension. Like when you see a .jpeg or a .ping or a .png or a .docx, you know that docx is Word, or .png equals an image, .jpeg is an image, .xls is Excel. So the browser doesn't look for file extensions. The browser will look for these MIME types, and you can look for them in internet. There's a whole bunch of them. So this will tell the browser what file type it's going to receive. So if you send a PDF, you have to use a MIME type of application / PDF. So this is what MIME type is. So I'm just gonna set up a MIME type and say it's gonna be a PDF file what I want to be sending it. So I just need to create a new MIME file type. So it's gonna be called MIME file type map is equal to new. I'm just gonna copy it over here so I don't have to type that much, and then do the constructor for that, and fix the imports. So now we have that. Great. All right, next part, we're gonna make an instance of this guy here. So I'm just gonna make an instance. I don't know if I haven't tried to make it a static method, but I'll just do it like this. Report mg is going to be called report manager is equal to new report mg. So we have a little instance of that right now. And we also need to specify the report type. So I have a little enum where you guys can specify if you want a PDF, an HTML, Excel, or TF, TXT, or Excel. These are the types the MG file is going to use. So it's a very simple enum. So I have to create one. So it's going to be report type equals report type, and then I'm going to specify I want a PDF. Okay, now I have to fix those imports as well. Okay, now we're specifying here PDF. If I wanted to get any other types, you can see the enum is auto completing. It's all it is an instance of that enum right there, and the report manager is an instance of this guy right here. So now we'll do our try and catch block. Try catch. Okay. Now the first thing we're going to put in here, we're going to set the parameters. So for parameters, we do a hash map, and it's going to be a string and then a generic object. So the string is going to be the name of the parameter, and the object is going to be the value of it. Now we're going to call this parameters equals new hash map, and it's also going to be a string object. Okay, so it wants imports. Fix the imports. Yes, and yes, that is correct. Now I'm missing, oh, I am missing these guys right here. Good. So let's just format the code a little bit. So now we're going to put parameters dot put. Now here we need the name of the parameter. So if we go back to our report and we take a look at the parameters, the parameter here is called ID receipt. So let's go back to this and ID receipt. This is the name of a parameter, and the value is going to be stored in this guy here. It's called ID report. So I named them differently just for you guys to see the difference, because usually all these guys are named the same, but this one's called ID report. So the ID report is going to actually have the ID of the receipt. Sweet. Now we have our parameter set up. We only have one, but here you can put as many parameters if you need, like 2 dates, like end date or first date, or start date and end date. You can keep putting these parameters this way, and then you add the parameters this way, and you can put as many as you need, and then everything's going to work. So if you need more than one parameter, just add them here and then add them here, and it should work fine as long as everything's named correctly. You guys shouldn't have any problems. Now the report is going to be returned as a byte array. So I'm going to do report manager control report manager dot okay, report mg dot, let's see what we have here. Looks like I'm not seeing the methods I want. I want this method here. Well, probably I didn't save it, that's why I'm not seeing it. Alright, let's try now. Yep. Should be seeing this method here. It's not auto-completing. Just close it and open it again. Maybe that will help. Because I had forgotten to save this guy when I strange. Should do this. Oh, terribly. What a dumb mistake. I wasn't naming the report properly. Now there we go. A little dumb mistake. I was putting the report manager as without naming the variable, so this is fine. So the byte array is going to be called report, and then I'm going to do report manager, trx generate report. So the first parameter is going to be the report name, the report type, and then the parameters are going to be sent in here. Great. Now we have a byte array of the things that we need. Now we're going to set our return object. Now that we have byte array, we're going to do ret dot set. We're going to set the set content type first, and then we're going to do mime dot get content type. All the files, this is going to get it from the file name, so this is going to be called report.pdf. This is going to look at that PDF extension and give me the application set content type that I need. So now we're going to do ret.set contents, and now this needs an input stream, and I have a byte array here, so I need to create a new byte array input stream. Byte array input stream, and inside that input stream I'll put this report object in here. Okay, that seems to be correct. And we're just gonna say ret.set file name. It's just gonna be called report.pdf. Okay, so this is the download response, and the little class file I did for you guys is gonna generate the report, use all the Jasper libraries and everything, and it'll give you a byte array. The binary thing is later gonna be created into a byte array, and then it's gonna go and say put in this return object. So then I do return ret, and any exceptions, throw new exception error generating report. Okay, and I don't need this null here anymore, and the exception has to be declared up here. So I'll just click on this thing and then throw the clause and save it. That looks pretty good. Okay, so this method looks pretty good. Now we have to make this wired into the application, so it's actually a service that we can call with a service variable. So let's go over to Studio, and you can see that we're still seeing this sample Java operation. Click on this here. We have to click on this refresh button, and always remember that when you click this, if you have any grids, it might mess them up. So I know that I'm in my main page, so there's no problem. So let's refresh and let's save. Excellent. Now I have my download report in here. And oh, there's one more thing I would like to change. Here in our report CF, on my receipt CF, I want to return not not the string of text, but the ID of the receipt. So I'll remove the string of text and I will change my return type to an integer, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to generate the receipt, and then I'm going to be using the ID of the receipt that is generated here, um, and use that as the parameter of the report generator. So it's a very slight change, but it's going to help us a lot. So we'll have to redo this. Even though I am in the report CF file, doing this will work. Okay, so if I check my receipts, its return type is now an integer, so that's exactly what I need. Alright, so let's go to our new sale, and when this generates the service in here, generates the response, we're gonna just call a little JavaScript function here. I'm gonna do success JavaScript. So we're gonna do it via get request. So I'm just gonna do var URL address equals to, so I think the path is services slash, let me take a look here. It's services slash, I can't see that there. It's called report with a lowercase cf. Report CF. So services report CF. I think here's where I put that method. The method is DLD report, and the parameter I want to be sending in here is going to be rep name. Oops, that's not the right one. This one is rep name with a capital N is equal to. Now here in the rep name, I'm going to be sending, let's go here, source, app sales reports. So I'm going to be sending the path relative to this guy here. So it's going to be receipt slash receipt.jasper. It has to be the Jasper file because this is the compiled one it needs to take a look at, not the JRXML. It has to be Jasper. So it's going to be receipt slash receipt.jasper. So receipt dot, slash receipt dot jasper. And the second parameter is going to be ID report. ID report, and that is going to be the the value that is coming here. I can use this indeprecated function. That's actually the value I'm looking for, and I'll just concatenate it. That will work. But if my value is in some other service variable, I can just write it here as this dot srv dot get data dot, I don't need this here, data value. So either way, this or this, here I can reference any other result from any other service variable. So either way, this one is because the service variable that is making the call has the value. So I don't need this. That's just to give a little bit of reference. So I think I have to put here download. I think everything is in place. Okay, this looks good. Now I have to open that address. So I have to put window dot open URL a DDR, and then I want this to go in a blank page, and then in a new page it'll just make a new tab and open this address here. So I think this works. Let's try it out. Okay, let's reload. Let's make a new sale. Let's select the client here. Melissa Walker. We'll select some products. So she'll be taking 2 bagels, 1 donut, 2 sandwiches, and 3 chewing gum. And I have product lists, the right quantities. Let's take a look at this guy here. Let's clear up. Let's do the insert. Oh, the pop-up blocker. Let's show it. All right, I got an exception here. And it's telling me that I need an extra class file. Apparently it's not finding this one. Okay, so I'm missing one library. I'll find out what's the library it's missing, so give me a quick second. Okay, so it's a good opportunity to talk a little bit about these errors. So I can see the error right here, and it's saying it's not finding a class. And I can see it's a class I did not build, so it's one of the libraries. And if I need a little bit more detail about it, remember you can always go over to the source in here and look at the stack trace. So here it's saying, yeah, it's just being really clear. It didn't find this class. So if I go and look for this class, just a simple Google search will tell me. I can copy it from here. Control C, Control V. So I need this jar file. So commons to Jasper 2.1 jar file. So I created a new list of jars, and I have them here, and I can see that I need this thing here. That the gesture is in here, so I'm just gonna recopy all these guys, and I will go over to my root folder, my lib folder, and I will clean it and paste the new libraries. The new libraries I patched. I must have skipped that one. So it's a little bit of debugging for you guys. Hope it helps. Let's try it again. All right. So we're gonna allow pop-ups. It's not gonna let me edit pop-up blocker options. It's allow the local host save changes. Let's close this. Let's reload it. Let's make a new sale. Melissa Walker. Select product sandwich. So 3 sandwiches, 2 ice creams, 4 soda drinks and 2 bagels. So 2 bagels, yeah. So we have a quite of 4 items. And these are the quantities. Let's try this again. We can close this. We can close this. Let's insert the receipts. Pop-up blocker is bothering me again, but I can open the address. And now it worked. It found all the libraries. Let's take a look at our report. Excellent. So we can see the client was Melissa Walker. This was receipt number 10. The date, and you can see the products that were sold, the price, and the price times the quantity, and this is the total right here. So it's a pretty rough report. You guys can customize it any way you like. I'm gonna try and see if I can squeeze in doing this using base64 real quick. So I'm gonna do a strange little division here, and I'm gonna put the report beside this one so you can see the base64 real fast. Let's go ahead and put a panel under this here, and this panel is going to have an HTML container. Where is it? Let's take a look. HTML. Yeah, here we go. And what I want to do, I want to write the HTML with the base64 information in here so we can preview the PDF embedded into the browser. So we're just going to resize this guy here. Great. So we'll go back to NetBeans, and I'm going to just copy this for now. I'm just going to copy this guy. Whoops, I'm on the wrong class. I don't want to touch this one. I want to do this one. Okay, this is the one I want to copy. So this is going to be download, and this is going to be base64 report, and it's going to return a string. And this is we can do this using post, so we don't need these annotations here anymore. Okay, so we don't need a download response read nor any of these things here. I'm just gonna get them out of there. We don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. And the return type is not going to be that. So we have the byte array in here. So what we need to do is to encode this into a string. So in order to do that, we have to convert it into base64 and then convert that into a string. So I'll just have to fix the import that's already in the libraries that I copied over. So that's it. Now they're both very similar. The only difference is just the return type. I think we could no, because we have to create another class to set the return type. So this will work. That's going to be a PDF type. So let's go over and add that in here. So we'll create a new service variable. We're going to call it srv report, and the service has to be report cf, but oh, I don't have it in here. So I have a grid in here, so let's just go to the main, save it. I have to make sure everything is fine in here. Oh, it's giving me some errors because I moved some jar files, I believe. So I'll just fix that right now real quick. Libraries. This is gone, and this is gone. I don't need those. Those are for web services. So, all right, it's happy again. I'll go to services, receipt CF, refresh and save. Great. Now I can go back to my sale new. I'll get my report service variable, and I can use this one here. And when this one is run, I want to send the data, the rep name. Remember, it has to be the path. It's report, or no, it's receipt slash receipt dot Jasper. Yeah, it's receipt dot Jasper. It never hurts to double check. So it has to go into source folder com app sales reports relative to this guy here, receipt dot Jasper. Great. Close. And the ID of the report is going to be the the value that this guy receives. So I can just bind it like this. Click here, and then click here. So whatever this guy returns, which is the ID of the report it just inserted, it'll work. So let's go ahead and bind that. And we will change that when this guy finishes inserting, we're not going to run that JavaScript that makes the download response. We're going to update the report variable. And when the report variable is done and gets a response, we're going to run some JavaScript. So I have this code right here. I'm just going to copy it over. This is not it. It's here. Okay. So it's going to set the HTML of this guy here. This guy is called HTML1. So this .html1.setHTML, it's going to create an iframe. And then the data, this is not supposed to be Excel. It's going to be application slash PDF. So this is the MIME type. I'm manually putting the MIME type in here. And the data is going to be base64, and I want to be using the same indeprecated because the report success is the one that's going to be having the value here. So this is going to be a very long string of text, so we'll see it on the console. And I think that should work. I'm going to add a little loading dialog box so this looks a little bit better. So add a loading dialog box. Yep. It's going to hide my layout box, and it's going to cover it when I am doing any post requests. So it's just going to give me a little loading dialog boxes whenever I'm doing any of these operations. So it's a very nice handy tool. Okay, let's go to the application now. New sale. So you can see the little loading dialog box. It just tells me everything is loaded. Put something for Jake Mullins. We'll select the products. So it's going to be 3 hamburgers and item 2 sandwiches and 1 ice cream. That's okay. Let's put the little console here. Well, it takes a lot of real estate, so we'll just clear it, get it away, and then insert the receipt. So while that's processing, we can now see that iframe that's inside the HTML widget displays the PDF file here nicely. And if we go to the service variable, we'll go main dot page container one dot page dot srv report.get data. This is base64 data. So it's like a really long string of text that the browser can understand this binary data, and that's why I gave it the MIME type right here, because the browser will interpret um, all that binary encoded data in base64 into a PDF. So that's why it can render the PDF on screen. And now here the user can, using the plugin, this depends on the plugin that is installed in the browser, it can print, it can download, it can do any other operation it needs to do it. So one last thing I'd like to talk about, because here I talked about these everything else classes. I did this custom report MG and I was using external libraries. And here is where the real power of Studio, because it's built on top of Java. So in these custom things, you can put email notifications, or upload to FTP servers, or get information from a biometric scanner, or the sky's the limit. So having some Java background and being able to do your own um, custom Java classes and compile them and put them pretty much the same way I did, this opens up the world to Studio. So if you guys have any requests, or any things you would like to see on the server side, please send me a message, and I'll see what I can do. So I hope you enjoyed this session. It was really fun, very powerful. Jasper Reports is an amazing tool. So I hope you guys can make a really good use of it. And thank you for watching this video.